This week's episode of the Skeptic Zone podcast is brought to you by SkepticBros.com, importers of the fabulous Placebo Band.
Welcome to the Skeptic Zone, the podcast from Australia for science and reason.
Hello, and welcome to the Skeptic Zone, episode number 108 for the 12th of November, 2010. Richard Saunders here with you from hot and steamy Sydney, Australia. Good news for people coming to Tam, the weather is warm. Yes, bring your shorts. Oh, yes. On this week's show, oh boy, here we go again. It was Mind, Body, Wallet time in Sydney every 6 months. And every 6 months we traipse along there, the meetup group, and check it out. An interesting report, I think you'll find for this one. Normally our practice has been to ask a lot of questions and get a lot of information. This time I don't know if we just let our guard down or we got fed up, but we took a slightly different tact and asked more questions and gave our opinion a little bit more strongly, I think. But it did strike us all that this time, well, it's always like the case, that mind, body, spirit, mind, body, wallet is, as to quote somebody leaving the festival, a den of thieves. It beggars belief, the number of outright scams that are going on in that place, and maybe we can get some government agency interested in attending undercover next time and actually sussing out how many blatant frauds are going on at that place. It really is something. Anyway, our report's coming up very soon. Following that, we have the think tank with lots of people this time. Maynard and Eran and Dr. Rachael, Jason, James. We're going to be discussing many issues, including the Q-Link story that was on Media Watch, and if you listened to last week's episode you might know a little bit about that. And what we'll also be talking about on the think tank, and something you might want to check out now and before and after and all the time, is a great little study about power balance that's been reported on http://opinionchange.wordpress.com, which is the blog of Nicola J. Martin. So check it out. It's a little study, quoting lots of sources, about the effectiveness, or not, of power balance. Well done, Nikki. Well done indeed. Thank you to all those people sending in donations and subscribing. Much appreciated. And to all those people writing to me for various reasons, I'm getting to your emails as soon as I possibly can. Very busy times right now, of course, getting ready for TAM Australia, so a lot of my time's taken up. But I do appreciate all your emails with your interesting comments. And thank you to all the people who are now listening to us, because you heard the Dr. Rachael interview with Geo last week. Glad to have you on board. I think that's enough from me. I'm going to grab a nice cold, let me have a think. Now this week, because it's hot and steamy here in Sydney, I'm looking for a drink that cools you down and sort of hits the spot and is refreshing. I'm going to have a nice glass of water. And I'll let you listen to The Skeptic Zone. Well, it's Mind, Body, Wallet time once again. Every 6 months it comes up, turns up again like a bad penny. I'm on the steps outside the exhibition centre here in Darling Harbour in Sydney. I'm with Bastard Sheep. Hello, Sheepy.
G'day.
G'day. And we're both wearing our multiple placebo bands.
Yeah, I've already had a couple of people question us about them.
Actually, it's been our lucky day because we've scored some free tickets to this thing today.
Yeah. I was just hanging around earlier, saw Shane, who spoke at the last Skeptics in the pub. He gave me one, and then a few minutes ago we just had another person come by and give us a couple more.
Yes, as a guy I remember from the TV show The One, who was one of the partners of one of the contestants, came by and said, oh, hello, and happened to have some free tickets. So that's pretty good. It's a good start. We're just waiting for all the other people to show up. There's a constant stream of people walking up and down the steps here, going in and out of the Mind Body Wallet. Looks quite crowded in there, but that's usually is on a Sunday.
Yeah, it's amazing just the diversity of people that are here. A lot of them you wouldn't really expect. There's people with tie-dye T-shirts on, the typical hippie-looking people. There's also people that look like bikers and heavy metal.
Yeah, that's a bit weird.
Listeners, and just every single group of people you can think of.
And quite colourful too. They are streaming in and out. Some of them are in costume.
The amount of purple, it hurts.
A lot of purple here today, folks, I've got to tell you. Well, yes, we're just waiting for the rest of the meet-up group to arrive, and then we'll be, once again, venturing into the great unknown, the great depths of blackness that is Mind Body Wallet. Maynard and Dr. Rachael, welcome to Mind Body Wallet. Now, Dr. Rachael, you're no stranger to Mind Body Wallet.
No, I'm not.
But Maynard is.
I've never been here before, and it's just like a boat show or a sexpo, except it's selling something completely that I'm not sure I'm buying.
There's no sex yet, though, is there?
There could be.
There might be, yeah.
There might be. We're right near the Chi Chinese Healing College. Chi Acupressure, it says.
I just had a heat thing on my shoulder, which was
nice.
Really nice.
There goes a guy with a Scientology T-shirt. See that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Look, and it must be said that the people that are getting the massages near us all look fairly relaxed. It looks like it's working.
It looks like good to me.
I mean, if you're basing the evidence on just looking at them, it seems to be working.
They're all comatose, don't they?
Well, the funny thing is, when you get a massage, you tend to feel relaxed, Maynard. That's the way it works, you know? That's kind of the point, you know?
And there's a direct inversion here on what you would find at a skeptics meeting, in that there's lots of women and not very many men.
I've got to say, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Unfortunately, our species does seem to be a bit more credulous than the males. I don't know. Anyway, let's keep looking.
Let's keep looking. Isn't that nice?
It's lovely.
It's lovely.
Nice.
It's very beautiful.
Reminds me of Bali.
Huh?
Yeah, except without the drugs.
Oh. So, Maynard, I shouldn't be so surprised, but here we are at the Church of Scientology.
Well, they're here, and look, a lot of people with a lot of happy faces. You can't deny that, Richard.
Well, I've got a happy face because the young lady flogging Scientology is very attractive, I must say.
Well, look, everyone flogging things is very attractive. It's like any boat show, like I said, like any expo of anything. But I've got to say the girls were hotter at the motor show the other week.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, they definitely
I went to the motor show too. There were some amazing models there.
Look, I mean, your Honda, your Holden, all those people, they know who to go to get the people to get their attention.
Oh, you mean the females? I was talking about the cars.
But look, there are a lot of people here just showing a lot of interest in everything.
Yeah.
And despite the actual fact of the matter, everybody seems to be having, well, let's just say fun.
Well, Rachael had a good experience. She was talking to someone from a store selling bamboo products that do things like take radiation away from your laptop, go figure, and she managed to inform the guy that foot patches are a con, and she got a big win out of that.
So maybe this time next year he won't be selling bamboo patches.
Yeah, don't push it, Maynard. Oh, well.
But is there one thing that everyone seems to be the most interested in here?
Maybe the room of psychics, I don't know.
Oh, look, I've never seen so many psychics in one place.
Yeah.
I think 60 in one room.
It's a lot.
And it was so busy, you had to make a booking in advance. If I'd have gone in there and said I want my chakra read or something by one of the psychics, which I think they could probably do.
They could probably do it, yeah.
They said, sorry, mate, you'll have to wait. Got to stand in line for the booking. So they're certainly popular.
And Rachel's just joined us now, Maynard. I think you're just telling us about something else that's happened to you just now. We were just discussing the foot patches.
Oh, right, yeah.
And now you've come across a magic berry juice.
Oh, look, it's this acai berry stuff. And, I mean, I've heard about it before. It's, the latest, newest antioxidant berry that, is a superfood.
Yeah.
And I don't doubt that it is. I mean, it's full of antioxidants and stuff like that.
It's probably okay for you. What the hell?
Well, whether it has any effect or not is debatable. But the guy just told me that it can help with cancer. Bing bong.
Fail.
Although saying it can help with cancer is not the same as saying it can cure cancer.
No, but he said...
It's a bit dodgy, though.
He said that you shouldn't take pharmaceutical drugs. You should take this. And I said, what about if I have cancer? And he said, yeah, you should take this because pharmaceutical drugs don't work. So he didn't directly say it cures cancer, but he strongly implied that this would be of benefit in cancer.
So he's skating on pretty thin ice then.
Very thin ice. Yeah. And then he went off, as I started asking more questions and getting more and more annoyed with him, he went off on the whole, the cancer industry
Big
gamut.
Pharma?
No, specifically the cancer industry gamut, which is the one about the FDA spent $24 billion on cancer research and we still haven't cured it, so the pharmaceutical companies are just doing it for the money, right? This is a Mike Adams thing.
Okay.
And then, told me that there's a cancer epidemic in America at the moment, and I said, well, that's bullshit. Like, where did you pull it? I actually said you pulled that out of your ass. I actually said that. And he was saying, and then he said, but what about... pharmaceuticals have only been around for like the last so and so many years. What happened to all the stuff we did before that? And I was like, pharmaceutical companies harnessed it, used it, and sell it. Like,
yeah. Well, I think we should call you Dr. Cranky.
Well, I got the shill. I got the shill. Did you hear her shill me? Because by this time, about 3 of them were around me, like trying to damage control and backpedal. And this woman said, do you have a background in pharmaceuticals? I said, no, I don't, but I know people who have cancer, and you should not be inferring that this stuff helps with cancer. And then the guy used the alkaline water bullshit and said that cancer only grows in an acidic environment, so you need, and that's how it starts. And I said, yeah, that's not true. It's the faults in the DNA. That's how it starts. No, but what happens before that? It's like the whole thing about the Big Bang, but what was there before the Big Bang? I mean, what?
Well, they get you every time. They always find it.
Yeah. And anyway, so I said, well, look, then he kept saying, oh, this is superfood and it's wonderful. I said, yeah, I'm sure it is, but you being irresponsible by inferring that this helps with cancer, you should not be doing that. It is illegal in New South Wales to do that. And if you want to do some research, because I asked him if he was a doctor, and he said, no, but I've researched this for 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and I said, well, if you want to do some research, look up the Code of Conduct for the Healthcare Complaints Commission, Section 17, and see that it is illegal to make these claims in New South Wales. And as I walked off, he was still yelling at me. So,
well done, Dr. Rachael. Okay, on to the next one. Well, we're out. We've made it out the door. Maynard, I think your chakras are shot. Look, your auras are washed out to a sort of a fading grey.
Look, I'm not going to sound too negative about that, but I really hated that experience. I really would like to... Look, I think the fact that there was not a lot of humour about what was going on in there, that's the problem I had. Like, at a boat show, people can make jokes about boating. At Sexpo, people can have fun because it's all about sexuality and they can joke around a little bit with that. But everyone was so deadly serious about what they were doing. And some of it was obviously quite nonsensical. And at the best, people were having fun. At the worst, people were being scammed. And
well,
that made me uncomfortable.
That's it. People are being scammed. And we got told to move along quickly from quite a number of stands this time by asking questions.
Oh, yeah, but you went up to the nice people that just wanted you to feel good about something and you went to them. I mean, really. I mean, you can see why you skeptics get a bad name, because you go around pouring cold water on everybody, I can see. I mean, it was the compassion stand, for goodness sake. You gave the compassion stand a hard time.
I did. I wasn't very compassionate at the compassion stand, I must admit.
Look, I think I have to go. I've just been exhausted. I don't know which chakra has been stolen from me, but I suspect it's the fourth one.
Yes, I expect you're right, Maynard. But the rest of us, it's that great old post-mind-body-wallet tradition of heading for Chinatown, which is about 400 or 500 metres down to our right, and enjoying a good Chinese dinner.
Nom.
And of course, after our traditional Chinese meal, we're completely and utterly stuffed. Rachael.
I can't hardly speak. I think I ate too much, Snoma.
We had to. I mean, it's mind-body-wallet just makes us want to commiserate in a nice Chinese restaurant. But, no, I must admit, this time, I think I let my... I wouldn't say I got angry, not really, but I was a little bit fed up this time, I must say. I mean, when you see people handing over vast sums of money to what you know is a scam, I mean, it really gets to you.
Yeah, I mean, I really got stuck into the Akasi berry people because the guy claimed that he wasn't saying he could cure cancer, but he strongly implied that his product helped with that, and that's just inappropriate. And the thing that really annoys me is that, there were some people there that clearly knew that we knew they were scamming people.
Yes.
And they recognised us from previous Mind Body Wallets and basically just sort of moved us along and were saying, move along. And
don't listen to them, get out of here.
Yeah.
There's one old scam at Mind Body Wallet, which I won't name for legal reasons, so I don't want to get sued. But it's one of these people who do the applied kinesiology test with the arm and everything. And the guy virtually said to us, "It's a good trick, go away."
Well, you said to him it's a trick, and he said, "Yeah." You said to him it's a trick, and he said, "Well, it sells my product." And I said to him, "Well, that's just dishonest."
Yeah.
And he was sort of going, "Thank you, goodbye." So he knows that we know he's scamming people, and by saying, I know it's a trick, but it sells my product. Well, what else can you conclude from that statement,
Yeah. And it's still amazing to me that of course there are, but there are people out there whose job it is to scam and con people out of their money. That's what they do. That's what they wake up in the morning and they go out and they do that.
Yeah, well, the guy that was talking about the acai berry or whatever, he was deluded. He really believed what he was saying. But the guy who you're referring to, he knew that he was scamming people. He knew it.
Well, I gave the skeptics $100,000 prize information to quite a few people. I wonder if anyone will get back to us.
I doubt it. The other thing that we were also moved on from the astrology stand because the head astrologer heard that we were scientists and didn't believe in astrology and just said, "Oh, well, okay, bye, have a nice day." And
Get out.
Yeah, get out. Didn't want to talk to us at all,
And we're both quite exhausted. We're both full.
Yeah.
And we're both sitting on the bus heading home. So, until next time at Mind Body Wallet.
I don't reckon I'm going to go again, Richard. At least not for a year.
It might be difficult for me to go in 6 months, I must say.
Is too often to go,
Hey, Brew.
Oh, hey, Brew.
I see you're admiring my new clear placebo band.
No, I'm not.
That's right. From SkepticBros.com, the all-new clear placebo band.
Oh, I didn't even ask.
Clear is awesome. You have to try it. I feel so light, so free, almost invisible.
Wait, what are you doing?
Woo! See the floating hat? Woo! Don't freak out. It's just me and my new clear placebo band. Get one from SkepticBros.com.
Please put your clothes back on before you get arrested.
Woo! I'm invisible.
Join us now for Drinking Skeptically in the Think Tank.
Hang on, Jason.
Ask whether it's the internet.
What does make up of the internet?
Mostly cats, but also detectives.
On the internets, and we love the internets, folks, because that's why you're listening to us right now. Here we are back in our favourite club down the street, which, while we're sitting here eating our dinner, it's half emptied out, Dr. Rachael.
Hi, Richard.
I mean, this was full when we entered here.
I know. Let's talk about skepticism.
And we'll talk about skepticism with James. Hello, James.
G'day, everyone.
And Maynard, enjoying your soup.
Look, I'm having a great time here, and I've got some large intellectual issues to discuss.
Oh. And
and he's eating broccoli with his hands.
he is. And
And drinking out of the bowl.
Yes.
Just to demonstrate how intellectual the endeavour is.
Hang on, chopsticks. Some of history's greatest intellectuals have eaten out of the bowl.
If a cat can use a flush toilet, I can drink out of the bowl.
And that's what he's doing. And hero of the week, it's Jason.
Oh, you're too kind. You're too kind. I'll be signing autographs later.
And we'll get to that a bit later on. And Eran Segev. Hello, Eran.
Hi, Richard.
What a fantastic week it's been in skepticism. We've got a few stories to cover. Well, let's kick off, actually, Jason, with your notable success. Now, listeners will remember on the last episode of the Skeptic Zone, we spoke with Jason about Q-Link.
Yes, Q-Link.
And things have happened.
Many things have happened. Yes,
Oh, yes.
Richard. Quite a lot. Shall we start from Monday?
let's start from Monday.
Monday was quite a good day.
It was.
Rather surprisingly, well, not entirely surprisingly to some, but rather surprisingly, ABC's Media Watch programme. Australian listeners will probably know about that. International listeners will probably need it explained. Media Watch is our sort of media watchdog programme that reports on the sins of the media. The Q-Link story featured on that on Monday and had a rather nice quote from my blog.
They did. In fact, what I'll do now is it only lasts for a few minutes, so I'll play that story right now.
But for simply the best example of product promotion, get a load of this from last week's Daily Telly.
Mobile Radiation Shield released.
By Stephen Fennick, technology writer.
Yes, this new magic shield is smaller than a 5-cent piece, but stick it on your mobile phone and wave goodbye to stress, sickness and disease. Sounds too good to be true? Surely not. So, Stephen, what's the secret of this high-tech defence?
Patented sympathetic resonance technology.
Come again?
Patented sympathetic resonance technology.
Wow, sounds fantastic. Tell me more.
The Q-Link Mini, priced at $48, is programmed with naturally occurring frequencies, which resonate with our body's energy system, just like a piano string would resonate with a tuning fork.
Amazing. And don't doubt it's true. According to Q-Link Australia's John Gearon, whose quotes provide almost half Stephen Fennick's shameless advertorial, the Magic Mini Shield is based on technology which has been
scientifically proven and tested for the past 20 years.
We'll come to that in a moment. But could it actually work? Well, no. According to Professor Vitas Anderson at Swinburne University's Brain Sciences Institute,
a little button cannot shield or neutralise the electromagnetic fields emitted by a mobile phone.
And here's the rub. If it could, your mobile phone would stop working because
it relies on the RF transmissions to make the radio link with the mobile base station.
So much for miraculous mini shields. As the website My Colleagues Are Idiots neatly sums it up.
If you can't smell the bullshit already, then your nose is broken.
So why is technology writer Stephen Fennick, who should know better, persuaded by this obvious quackery? And why does his brother Mario from Channel 9's Sydney Footy Show promote Q-Link on the company's website?
Been great. I'm always a pretty sort of tense sort of guy, and I must admit that since I've had the Q-Link on, I feel a bit more relaxed and a lot easier on the kids, and probably not as jumpy. And my golf has been sensational.
Now, we at Media Watch naturally suspected the worst, that Stephen was using his Telegraph column to give brother Mario a helping hand. Stephen started enthusing about Q-Link back in 2004 with his first breathless puff, and then again in 2005, which was around the time that Mario started promoting his $1,300 gold-plated Q-Link pendant.
Hi, and welcome to my website. Over the years, I've worked with hundreds of different businesses. I've helped them build brand awareness and increase their sales through TV, radio and print media campaigns. And I can do the same for you.
And indeed, he's done that for Q-Link, who tell visitors to Fennick's website,
since Mario has been promoting our range of Q-Link products, we have seen a measurable increase in sales across all demographics.
But you know, sometimes there's an innocent explanation, and this is one such time. Mario's manager says he does not get paid for promoting Q-Link, and it seems he and Stephen rave about the product just because they believe it works. So, no impropriety, just credulity. Now, it has to be said, many professional golfers swear by their Q-Links, but the highly regarded microwave news in the United States is not so easily persuaded.
Scams galore.
The gizmos promising protection against electromagnetic fields include bracelets, pendants and headbands. Two of the best known are BioPro and Q-Link, which are really no different from all the others. That's to say, they don't work.
Q-Link claims that research by the University of Wollongong scientifically proves its devices are effective. The study it refers to, conducted by Professor Rodney Croft, was funded by Q-Link's manufacturer, Claris Products International. It was described 4 years ago by the respected UK website PowerWatch as
small and ill-scienced, virtually worthless.
And even the study's author, Professor Rodney Croft, dismisses its value, at least in supporting the claims made by Q-Link, telling Media Watch last week,
I do not believe that the inconclusive nature of my study provides any evidence that the product does what it claims.
None of this was in Stephen Fennick's article. And Stephen, it should have been. It's not yours or the telly's job to flog this stuff. It's to strive for the truth. A strange, old-fashioned concept, I know, but one that still has some value.
Well done, Jason. Now, they mention your blog, so has that resulted in increased traffic?
It has. Well over 1,000 hits, which is about 10 times what I normally get on a story on my blog. It's also been linked to by Crikey, by various other news outlets. It's been quite cool, really.
And it's really nice that all those people checking out your blog are checking out the Q-Link, and that Q-Link was basically called a con and a scam on national television.
Truthful media. It was good, wasn't it? Quite awesome. So if anybody wants to check that out anyway, go to my blog at... Oh, announcement.
That's Canterbury Country tonight. The show's for free. We should all run upstairs and watch it.
Awesome. So yeah, if anybody wants to check out the show, or the segment at least, is on my blog at www.mycolleaguesareidiots.com. And there's a few stories on there about the whole flap. It's been a laugh. I've been blogging like crazy.
So congratulations once again. That's fantastic.
Didn't you have some news, Jason? I heard a rumour last week that Stephen Fennick had actually been suspended. Have you heard anything more about that?
I've talked to someone who wishes to remain anonymous, but I can say this person's quite close to the business for which Fennick works, and she understands that he's on suspension right now.
And that was really for people who didn't hear last week. That was really for the fact that he didn't disclose that his brother is a sponsored spruiker, I guess, for the product, right?
Yeah. And it's a breach of, I think, Section 4 of the Code of Conduct for Journalists in Australia. I might be wrong on that. It might be Section 5. But basically, you've got to disclose all conflicts of interest of that kind.
And why would he be bound by that? Is he a journalist?
He's a journalist.
Okay.
As a media commentator, technology is the word.
Technology correspondent, yeah.
Which, I remember, if on Media Watch, they didn't actually go as far. They actually said that he wasn't benefiting from it directly financially. They said they did say that, which I thought was interesting.
Also, they both claimed, yes. I mean, I commented on my blog rather cynically that they probably haven't been paid yet, and now they're not going to get paid. But, who knows? Only that's between them and Q-Link, and I can't comment.
But the other interesting thing was the guy who was on the Today Show, who was also Charlie Brown, who was also had some questions posed to him on Twitter, and Downsy, who also wrote an article for Crikey at Downsy. He asked Charlie Brown some questions on Twitter, and he wrote a very short blog in response to that, which I think Downsy's response to that was ridiculous and hopeless or something, because his comments about Q-Link were pretty credulous. He basically said that it was he thought it could work, but the jury's out or something like that.
But after saying there's all this science to back it up,
on the
TV he did.
Yeah.
And he spent about 2 minutes doing the sales pitch thing, and then at the very end was asked, what do you think of it? Have you tried it? And the question, but the jury's out, isn't it? And he turned that question around and said, yeah, the jury is out on something else. And then said, but I'm sceptical, I'd have to try it. Which to me wasn't really skepticism. That was just sort of journalistic ass covering.
Not when the preceding 2 minutes was sales pitching, yeah.
At least though Charlie's been good enough to actually talk about it on his blog and kind of apologise and publish some critical comments. Whereas Stephen Fennick deleted all his tweets and kind of ran away.
But you know what, Jason, that's what's so funny about it is that he deleted his tweets. I mean, seriously, these days, this happened this morning. I think it was a Tory MP tweeted something about a Muslim should get stoned to death for, I think, adultery or something, and then deleted the tweet. Now, are people seriously that stupid these days that they don't know there's this thing called screen caps onto internets? Where you
everything gets cached as well. Everything gets captured somewhere. So.
Yes.
I must say that something that concerns me about this whole Stephen Fenech thing is that the article's now gone, except for some screen captures. But the article itself is a problem. You know, the fact that a national newspaper can put something like this up and not see that there's a problem. It's quite clearly a press release. With very little, if any, editing.
There's no.
It is full of mumbo jumbo. And this coming from the technology correspondent. I also correspond about technology very often. I do not say this kind of bullshit.
Most technology and science stories are. They're just press releases that are rewritten, or sometimes not even rewritten.
Such an obvious sales pitch.
So the fact that he wasn't suspended for withdrawing a salary and not being worth it is something that bothers me about this newspaper. But then again, it is the telly. So
I've been in contact with the editor of Daily Telegraph. We've exchanged a couple of emails, and I'm after an official statement from him. He hasn't got back to me with an official statement yet. So
don't hold your breath.
As soon as that comes out, it'll be on the blog if it comes out at all. But we're going to talk about this kind of thing.
Do you mean an official statement about Stephen Fenech?
Fenech's suspension and the reason it slipped through the editorial net.
The journalistic standards of the telly, basically. Okay.
Yeah.
However, I mean, all right, we're sort of bagging the telly at the moment, but it was the telly who just a few days afterwards, or a few days before, am I getting my dates mixed up?
A few days afterwards.
Not the Shonky.
The Sunday agenda.
The Sunday agenda was all about the Australian Vaccination Network, Dr. Rachael.
Yeah, it was a two-page story, double-page spread, with a preceding story as well, about how the anti-vaccination lobby are putting our children at risk. Now, I'll just read the opening sentence. This is by a journalist by the name of Jane Hanson, isn't it?
That's the same Jane Hanson. I'm thinking about her. I went to school with Jane Hanson.
Yeah, Jane Hanson.
I bet you've got some stories.
She was in my brother's year, but I remember Jane, yeah.
Is she the same person?
I expect so, journalist, yeah. Well,
really?
Probably,
There's more than one person called Jane Hanson.
Well, I don't know, we'll see.
Anyway, she opens the story with the anti-vaccination lobby believe they are fighting for personal freedom, but as Jane Hanson reports, they are selfishly putting your children at risk.
Wow. And Tracy Spicer actually wrote an article a bit before that, didn't
Tracy Spicer wrote an article about 2 days before that where she basically called out the Australian Vaccination Network in particular for being selfish.
Was that in the Telly or the Herald?
No, I think it was in the Telly as well.
Okay.
This story here, the Jane Hanson one that appeared on the Sunday, gave big exposure to the McCaffreys, but also was focusing on the fact that we do have a whooping cough epidemic.
Yeah.
And alerting parents to the fact that they need to probably get boosters and that they should go and talk to their doctors about that.
Speaking of which, for carers, it is free now again.
Oh,
it wasn't free for a period, but now it is in most states.
That's really cool. That's good.
It's about bloody time, seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It's been, almost 2 years, over 18 months since Dana passed away and since the government should have done something about this.
Yes.
And once again, this is an example of the public having to do something about it.
The government's job?
Yeah, doing the government's job.
Yeah.
However, regardless of that, I mean, it was a really great article by Jane. And
yes, congratulations. It was a fabulous
and very, very
article.
well researched.
And she had a timeline. I don't know if that's there, but she had a timeline of the sort of series of events leading up to the...
including the AVN HCCC public warning, including the AVN losing their charity licence, which, as a side note, they have appealed that, and there is a hearing on December the 10th.
Right.
Where I'm not exactly sure how that's going to play out. I don't know if that's open to the public or not, because...
If it is, I'm taking the day off.
Well, if Meryl Dorey's intention was to get her name in the paper, she's done that in spades.
Yeah, she has. But I don't think she's very happy about that.
Really?
But
I don't think she was looking for the kind of free publicity that she got from the skeptical community.
Can I say something? Now, this is public now, and we weren't allowed to say anything for a very long time, but this story revealed that Tony McCaffrey is pregnant again.
Yes.
Yay.
So congratulations.
Congratulations, McCaffrey.
Fantastic news. All right, we'll get on to some more stories in a moment because I know Maynard has just got some wonderful things for us. But
Media Watch trivia.
Ooh, that sounds interesting. We'll get to that. In the meantime...
I was on Media Watch, by the way.
Yeah, we know you're on Media Watch.
It's funny, speaking of 9/11...
in the meantime, I've got a few interesting things to report about our good old friends at Power Balance. And some of us are wearing our wonderful new clear placebo bands.
Power Balance, yeah. This is Franz Anton Mesmer, the inventor of mesmerism. He's got a Power Balance band on.
Power Balance band.
Oh my God.
And the wacky, it's not on his wrist either.
Now, stop playing with my sound effects app, Dr. Rachael. Now, Nicola J. Martin has actually done a study and a series of tests on Power Balance. Oh, yes. And she's published this on the internet.
Onto internet?
Onto internet. I suggest everybody...
Is she a cat?
She probably is.
She's a detective.
I suggest everybody go to the website http://opinionchange.wordpress.com and you can read Nikki's wonderful report about her tests into Power Balance.
Did they work?
Well, that's it. You'll have to read the report to find out.
Mine works. Like, I use it to hold my wallet closed.
Yeah, but that's a placebo band, you dill.
Oh, that'll be why it works.
Then I've got another email on a similar subject, or the same subject, sort of, I guess you'd say, from Alyssa Goldberg, all the way from New York. Well, I imagine she's in New York. She writes, I just finished the NYC Marathon, my first marathon, and wanted to extend my thanks to your brilliant and entertaining podcast.
Oh, hang on.
Good grief. Listening to the Skeptic Zone during endless hours of training kept me going strong. There you are, folks. You see, she appreciates it. Now, not only do I have a strong body, but a strong mind as well. I did want to point out that you are wrong about the Power Balance bracelet. It did make me run faster and gave me more stamina. When I saw that a fellow who was running alongside me for several miles was wearing one, I pushed a little harder and pulled out ahead. I wonder if that was because my energy field was being so harmonically oscillated, or just being in proximity, or if it was simply my determination to beat that bullshit. Thanks again, Alyssa Goldberg.
That's very good.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Well done, Alyssa.
What an excellent email that was. Now, before I pass over to Maynard, one more thing. Folks, the petition against libel or for libel reform needs your help. www.libelreform.org. Please sign that online petition.
Have you seen the latest from the libel reform thing today?
Is this about the boob thing?
Yes, the boob thing. This is the think tank. We've got to talk boobs.
We do.
Come on. A company called Rodial Limited in the UK manufacture a cream or a gel or something. They claim that this cream can raise you a cup size. Or half a cup size, I think it is. The Daily Mail asked the opinion of a doctor, and the doctor said it's very unlikely that this will work, as a doctor would.
Yeah.
Now, instead of producing some evidence that it works, Rhode Isle have sued for libel. So, of course, I've done exactly the same thing on my blog. A few other bloggers have done the same on their blog. This is the Streisand effect, guys. Yeah. Well done.
And now it's on the Skeptic Zone, so boobs to you. Maynard.
Boobs?
Well,
boo. Boo.
I mean, one of the big distractions, I wouldn't even say distractions, like one of the big issues of the week, media-wise in Australia, has been the lesbian schoolgirl couple in Melbourne that wanted to go to the Year 11 formal, 116, 115, and the school wouldn't let them go as a couple. And I'm completely on their side. I think all power to them for sticking it to the school. But the issue that I would like just people to think of, a bit of a mind game here, do you think the issue would get as much attention if it had been two 16-year-old boys?
Ooh. I think probably would get more attention.
Maybe. It's hard to say.
More attention, but a lot more negative attention, most likely.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd have the hands of them wander around in the park holding hands and that's the cutaway shots and that sort of thing?
I think if they were boys, they'd probably be bashed by somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think it would take a different tone. And look, I agree with everyone involved here. I think the issues, and I think they should take it to court and everything.
I've seen them on all the news reports.
Yeah, and that's what I thought. If it was two 16-year-old guys, it would raise a mention, but would it get the hype that you would be able to do it. That's
hard to call.
And also, I'm just wondering, if you were the parent of a 15, 16-year-old girl, would you want her to be the poster person for her sexuality at that age?
Well, the parents were very supportive, and both girls' parents. Yeah.
Well, the father has been on Twitter talking about it as well. They talked about it as a family quite a bit, and they decided that, yes, the entire family will go forwards like this. So it is something that they did really cover very thoroughly before this happened.
Well, that's good. And also, there was mediation with the school that took place about 2 months ago, and the parents and the
How long ago?
2 months ago, yeah.
So this I thought the story was really fresh.
Well, yeah, the story's really fresh to do with the formal, but the issue was discussed with the school and the parents about 2 months ago, and they weren't happy with that, and both girls have since changed school. So I'm just wondering if there's other issues involved here. Again, I'm supportive of the issue at hand here, and again, it's just interesting that there's other details that have come out. I'm completely on their side here.
The way the parents explained it was that the girls moved. One girl moved. The older one moved school because she felt that she was being almost persecuted at the school for that, and the other girl moved because she wanted to be with her girlfriend.
Well,
I just want to say something with regards to what you asked about the parents allowing her to be a poster child for this. As somebody who has a 15-year-old, so it's very close.
Good, yeah.
They're not kids. They have a mind of their own. They have their own causes. They have their own things that are important to them. And I think, as a parent, you don't have to agree. You don't have to even think that it's the right thing. And it's definitely your job to voice that opinion and explain and put your case forward to the child. But I think at the age of 15, 16, to suggest that you decide for them about what's important to them and whether they're going to do something like this, it's a lost cause anyway. So if they said to somebody like that who's strong-minded about it, let's assume they object to it, okay, and they said it to her, she'd probably just go and do it anyway. So I think a much better approach is you do internally within the family, you do your own discussions and you decide what to do. And then you go ahead and do whatever the child decides. You support the child in whatever they've decided.
The only reason I mentioned the age in that, I was just looking at in an earlier age, when we perhaps were that age, to bring that sort of issue up.
It wouldn't have happened.
It wouldn't have happened.
No.
It wouldn't have even happened. Because you wouldn't want national press for that kind of thing. And I just think it's interesting the way things have moved on.
Yeah, but it's been almost 15 years since we were that age.
Rachel, speak for yourself.
Look, best headline of the week.
Yes.
Dick Van Dyke saved by porpoises.
What?
Yeah, that's right. Sure.
This is why we have Maynard, folks, because he comes along with these amazing stories.
I say lesbian schoolgirls refused from formal. Everyone goes, yeah, Maynard. And I go, then Dick Van Dyke saved by porpoises. They go, you hero. Well, it's an actual headline. He was swimming once, and he was not doing well.
Sexual porpoises?
Apparently, well, I don't know. They had a thing for Dick Van Dyke anyway. But he was swimming. He wasn't doing too well, and the porpoises saved his life.
Good.
How?
Heavens.
Defibrillator?
I don't know what that... I think they had some sort... They had a life vest on them.
Well, they're the ones that have lasers strapped to them.
That's right. They're sharks.
No, the ones that after Hurricane Katrina, Carl Pilkington talks about this. There were all these dolphins that got washed away and blown away in Hurricane Katrina and were found inland.
I'm just waiting for Dr. Rachel to stop laughing, because as anyone who listens to the podcast knows, her laugh cuts through like you will not believe. It does. There are people listening to other podcasts that hear her.
In the next city.
So you've got to get your pop culture reference right, because as we'll know, Dr. Evil could not get the sharks he wanted and had to settle for angry sea bass with lasers.
Now, I'll just mention that coming up, of course, the Skeptic Zone are doing a live show at TAM Australia, a live Skeptic Zone. The first time the whole crew will be together.
Bring
noms, says Dr. H. And our special guest on the panel will be none other than Dr. Pamela Gay. We're so excited to have our good friend Dr. Pamela Gay not only being part of TAM Australia, but being on the stage with us for the Skeptic Zone. Now, Pamela has kindly agreed to come all the way to Australia to be part of TAM Australia, because unfortunately DJ Grothy couldn't make it in the end due to other commitments. All the best, DJ, but we are delighted to have Pamela Gay, absolutely.
We most certainly are.
We are really excited about having Pamela Gay come along. And also very exciting, for those people who maybe didn't get tickets to TAM Australia, and those who did, everybody's welcome to come along to the Guinness Book World Record attempt at the largest ever magic lesson conducted by Dr. Carl Kruszelnicki, and myself. If you want to come along to that and be part of the crowd, that's free, and that's happening on the very first morning of TAM. You'll have to be at the Masonic Centre at about 7:45, 8 o'clock. Come along, but you can register for that by going to meetup.com and then going to the TAM Australia. Is that it? TAM Australia?
Yeah, or Sydney Skeptics.
Meetup.com/TAM Australia.
Meetup.com/TAM Australia or the Sydney Skeptics on Meetup. Just Google those or go to Meetup and look for Guinness World Record attempt with Dr. Carl and Richard Saunders. Hope to see you there. It will be fantastic. I hope to see you there, Maynard.
Well, look, I'm going to be in the media room, and I'll be looking forward to maybe talking to Randy, and because after
leaguing, aren't you?
Free
drinks.
Yeah,
hanging out with the celebrities.
Well, I've already pre-ordered. All the bottle shops within a mile of the area have been alerted of the presence of Dunning. Or, as he's known by various people, Hoover Dunning will be there. He'll be carrying on. He'll be doing some sort of skeptoid thing. And I'm throwing out the challenge that he should do a skeptoid on Kegel exercises. He said he will not do it, but I'm throwing out he should do it.
A live show on Kegel exercises with demonstrations.
Good heavens, Maynard. Good heavens. Now, and one more quick mention from me that our fellow Skeptic Zone member who will be on stage with us, Kylie Sturgis, has reminded me that she's very happy because The Guardian have been plugging a book that she's in about Australian atheism. For those people interested in Australian atheism.
I've got a copy. It's a good book.
You've read a copy?
Yep, I'm trying to get some interviews with some of the people that are in it. Maybe I'll even chat to Kylie. But
you can, actually. She'll be there. You can have a chat to her.
It's not my normal kind of book. It's thick.
He's giving us a funny look.
Chris Stevenson, who I think did the foreword for that, will be speaking at the Skeptics Open Mic Night on the 25th. If you couldn't get into the Skeptics in the Pub special edition on the 25th, then the Skeptics Open Mic Night happens that night at the Macquarie Hotel.
Look that up on Meetup,
on the meetup.com/TAM Australia site. And Chris Stevenson, who's in that book, will be there doing, I think, the first speech. She sent it to me today. Just check it out.
Oh, that's exciting.
And other people who were in the book will be at TAM. Warren Bonet, who's the editor of the book.
Right, of course.
He will be there with his shop. Because the Big and Book are the official bookshop.
Yes. Yeah.
And wasn't Peter Ellerton in the book as well?
I haven't got that far yet. I mean, the introductions.
I think Peter was in the book. I have ordered the book, but I didn't get it.
And people can find out more by going or Googling Guardian Atheism Martin Robbins and Dr. Rachael.
Oh, and could Kylie please, she reckons she's got a tape of me interviewing, I've had a blank. Who wrote Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Douglas Adams.
Adams.
The half-hour interview I did with Douglas Adams, she has it. And I don't think I have. So, Kylie, get that to me because I'd like to put that all up online.
And Kylie will certainly be available at TAM Australia if any podcasters out there want to have a chat with her. Now, we had an interesting time just recently, Eran, you and I and some other members from the Australian Skeptics, where we actually had somebody apply and come up for a challenge for our $100,000 prize.
Absolutely.
But
get out.
We did.
It took a long time.
It took a long time.
I'll try to briefly describe what was actually a very long process because we got a letter from a lawyer in January of this year.
That's never a good start.
Yeah. So this guy was very suspicious that we were not going to be acting in good faith. But we have shown good faith. We've met the guy with the lawyer, then eventually without the lawyer. We put a protocol together whereby he sends information. We worked out the type of information. It's words and numbers with a chance of 1 in a million of success by probability of 1 in a million of success by chance.
Yep.
He sends that information. He views that information on a sheet of paper. And then sends it to a collaborator in New York City.
From Sydney to New York.
From Sydney to New York. Now,
and he doesn't use the telephone.
Doesn't use the telephone. No. Doesn't use the way he described it. He actually refused.
We can do that over the internet now.
Yeah. Well, he refused. He refused to describe it as psychic. What he called it the ability. But the idea was that it was by means not known to science.
Indeed.
Okay. So that was the idea. Now it was a lot of preparation. You know, we got help from New York Skeptics, Lisa and Jake, who provided support there by finding a venue and by waiting for the team in New York, the receiver and her lawyer. And we met at 7 a.m. on a Sydney morning in the city to meet the challenger, and went to an office. And to cut a fairly long story short, the New York side didn't show up.
Yeah.
So
our skeptics were waiting on the street corner.
They were waiting on the street corner for an hour. It's a bit cold in New York at this time of the year, and they were waiting for an hour. And the people just didn't show up.
It sounds so film noir.
But the thing is,
morning in Sydney.
Okay. Well, they got initially they were stuck in traffic, and there were all kinds of things like that, like all kinds of messages coming through by phone, by the way. So we were told, and then eventually it turned out that they were stuck in a lift. Now this is
or
supposedly
they were stuck because the lifts weren't working. Something like that.
No,
they were stuck in a lift.
They were stuck in a lift.
Yeah. Now this is what makes it a little bit more weirder. Turns it into a bit of a weirder story. Is that according to our challenger, his collaborator and her lawyer do not possess mobile phones. So there is a lawyer in New York who does not have a mobile phone. That is already that's already suspicious. But so the whole thing, we actually have some suspicions about the existence of the New York side of the whole story.
I believe, I wasn't present for this, but I believe that whenever the challenger contacted the New York side, he used a mobile phone, but he didn't do it in the room, so you couldn't hear him.
That's right.
Speaking to the people.
Well, we don't know whether he spoke to them. I actually asked him at a certain point, because when they didn't show up, I asked him, do they know the address? And he said, yes. Okay, tell me what address you told them. He told me it was the right address. I said, how did you convey the address to them?
Telepathically.
Well, no, he refused to answer. I said, look, this is not about the test now. I want to know that we're not just sitting here wasting our time. Did you convey the message to them, the address to them, in some kind of way that we know, not just you, but we can know that it's actually legitimately been received by them? And he refused to answer that question. So that probably lends a little more.
It was an interesting hour. We were in that office, twiddling our thumbs, basically. Yes.
Nice office.
Nice office. Good view.
So what's the protocol now then? Because I understand that with the JREF, if they test someone, do a preliminary test and they fail, and I don't know whether you could call this failing or not, then that person has to wait 12 months to try again. Do we have a protocol similar to that?
I don't think we have an informal.
Well, no, we don't have a formal one, but he sent a letter explaining it and basically asking to be tested again. But his explanation was he was a bit short of an apology, I would say. A bit short in the sense that it was not an apology.
No.
It was like there was not a word of regret there or sorry about wasting your time and all that. He was
not only our time. He was just like 5 of us in Sydney and 2 in New York. Something like that. Yeah.
And we spent quite a bit of. Not a huge amount of money, but quite a bit of money on it, and time, and all the effort around putting things together. It was just really a bit off the mark. His letter. So I don't think we'll test him again, but we'll see.
We'll see.
But he's also spent a fair bit of money, hasn't he? Because he's hired lawyers in the process of setting up the protocol, and
which is why we tend to believe that he genuinely believes in it.
No, his lawyer in Sydney does have a mobile phone.
Right.
A very in New York that doesn't have a mobile
very interesting story indeed. Well, it was interesting being in Sydney, and if you want to read about the point of view of our friends in New York, you can go to GothamSkeptic.org and read their blog from those poor people freezing on the corner in New York. Now we're going to, by the magic of the internets, be transported to Maynard's Corner.
Maynard's podcasting corner, and just on a conspiracy sidekick there, what about that journalist from the Village Voice that was kidnapped by vampires and maybe dead?
What?
Oh, she did a story on vampires in the 90s and disappeared, and some people say she was bumped off by the Russian mob, some people say she committed suicide, but I say vampires took her.
And ate her, or what?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, really, do I really have to give a reason? I mean,
evidence.
Let's look at this logically. We've got the she'd pissed off the Russian mob. Some people think she was a bit depressed, but she disappeared, and she'd just recently done a story on vampires. So I think.
What kind of vampires? Were they the traditional vampires, the Buffy vampires, the Twilight vampires?
They're the New York guys that want to look as good as Angel but aren't. Vampires, yeah, those ones, yeah. And that was a scary scene.
That's like a story someone told me the other day, Maynard, about how this guy meditated himself to sleep on a plane. And that was amazing. And I said, yeah, that's amazing, because every night I meditate myself to sleep. I shut my eyes and I fall asleep.
I meditate a six-pack some nights to get myself off to sleep.
See now. I was looking through M. Let's see. Yeah, I medicate myself to sleep. Anyway, look, back to what we were doing. Maynard's podcasting corner here, and a big cheerio and a shout out to it's the 8th birthday of Radio Nowhere in the UK. Oh. They've been doing independent music, and I've got to say, a lot of our, if you listen to podcasts, check out all their podcasts. They've got about 8 different ones, and one of them is Filmic, which I think is great for, it's all film music and film theme music from all over the place. And the Christopher Laird Show, he's the most polite man in the universe. When he says arse, it sounds almost like a nice word. Okay. Also, a big shout out to fellow skeptical and atheist friends in the US, the girls that Look at His Butt. Now, that is all about William Shatner and sex toys. And girls, I want you to do something on the fleshlight, okay? That's what I want you to do something on.
I have a question about William Shatner.
Well, I think we all do.
I was reading a certain magazine that claimed that William Shatner sold one of his kidney stones to an online casino for $35,000. Can you get your William Shatner friends to confirm or deny this for me?
Okay, Look at His Butt, girls. Get in contact with us because we'd like to know. It's, as they say, he's a shill, so it doesn't surprise me that's the kind of thing he would do, but he might have done it for charity.
There's a new series coming on SBS with William Shatner about the unknown and the strange, actually. Keep an eye out for that. Yeah.
And also, I've been doing some work with Ustream, and there'll be the Mad Club now has an official Ustream site. So on Saturday night between 10 and 10:30, the Mad Club will be live on Ustream. Ooh. You can find out about that at the Mad Club Facebook page. And one last thing, our good friend Stephen Horan. Stephen and his friend Casey the Wonder Dog.
Yes.
I went and did a great story on them, and it's up on the ABC website. It's called Casey the Wonder Dog. So look up Casey the Wonder Dog, Maynard, on the ABC website. You could go to the abc.net.au/Newcastle website. Casey the Wonder Dog, and you will see photos of Casey actually aggressively playing with the ball. And as a guide dog, you don't normally see their teeth bared, so that's kind of cool. And you'll also, and look, I tried to steal, he was vision impaired, so I kept trying to steal vodka out of the freezer. The dog bit me twice. And so I got to say,
well done, Casey.
That Casey's pretty cool. She's on the job there.
But did she rescue any children from wells?
No, but she did go, what's that, Casey? Only half a bottle. Maynard's into the absolute. No, we can't have that. So have a look at that's Casey the Wonder Dog at abc.net.au/Newcastle. Have a look and have a listen. And if you like the story, tell us. If you don't like the story, as they say in Australia, up your bum.
What an interesting... I don't know what to say.
Hang on. I'll just clap. Ready?
It starts a bit.
It's Dr. Rachel's sound effect
Why is the audience full frequency? That's what I want to know.
Rachel's having too much fun with that app, folks. Well, we'll let Rachel have a lot of fun with that app. With a final word from me that if you're looking for that Christmas present for that special somebody, then buy them a placebo band.
Do you want some music for that?
I think I have. I've got some music for that. Here we go. Hang on a minute. This is one of these great rap tracks I discovered during the week.
Thank you, Maynard. SkepticBros.com, folks. These... Grief. This think tank is getting out of control. SkepticBros.com for your placebo band. Only $2. Get them while they last. I'd like to thank everybody here. Burping Dr. H.E.
I didn't mean to press that button. Thank you.
Thank you. James.
Thank you.
Thank you. Maynard.
I did mean to press that button and I'm disappointed with the results. That's maynard.com.au. Tune in and drop out. I did.
Hero of the week, Jason.
Cheers, Richard. www.mycolleaguesareidiots.com.
And Eran Segev.
Thanks, Richard.
And until next time, cheers from the think tank. Thank you for listening to The Skeptic Zone. The next few episodes should be interesting. I think we've got some TAM guests coming up pretty soon. I might grab an interview or two. Not sure what the episode is going to be like when TAM itself is on. I'll be running around quite crazily doing lots of things, but I'll try to grab some interesting things for you. Don't forget to keep wearing those placebo bands. 3 or 4 on your wrist gets comments, and then you can explain to people why you're wearing them. SkepticBros.com. Until next week's episode, this is Richard Saunders, signing off from hot and steamy Sydney, Australia.
You've been listening to The Skeptic Zone. Visit our website at www.skepticzone.tv for comments, contacts, and extra video reports.
The Skeptic Zone.